my name is Karen and I am a qualified Otago exercise program leader. So what is Otago? Otago is a specifically and proven designed exercise routine aimed for older adults. It was developed and researched extensively in the University of Otago in New Zealand, and it's designed specifically for falls prevention. So in the UK alone, there's roughly 76,000 hip fractures every year, which costs the UK NHS a staggering £2 billion pounds a year, which is just crazy. So this is a government-backed scheme which will help, hopefully, fragility costs to the NHS. Total fragility costs, not just the hip fractures, but the total fragility costs cost the NHS with falls related incidents about £4.5 billion, which is just, it's staggering. So this is a proven exercise routine which is to help with the older adults and the falls. So so what I've done is I've put together a roughly 20-minute little video for you, which just goes through some basics of the exercises, which will be designed for 3 times a week, and then you can progress throughout this. So I'll show you the progressions and you can choose a level that suits you. So obviously please modify if you feel that you need to. So I'm going to start off, first of all, kicking my flip-flops off. So you're probably not going to want to wear flip-flops. So yeah, so I'm going to start off, just stay in the chair. So what I've got here is I've just got a high-backed sturdy chair, not an armchair or anything like that. And I've also got some ankle weights here. I've got 2 ankle weights. If you haven't got any ankle weights, don't worry, you can progress to that. But if you have, or you want to get some, just a £1, £1.5, you don't need something massively heavy. It's just something that's just going to help you build the overall strength in your legs. So we've got 3 components really with Otago. So we want mobility, and we want strength, and we want balance, and all those 3 things combined will help us. So let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I want you to do a quick posture check. So when I'm talking about posture, I'm talking about neutral spine. So what is neutral spine? Neutral spine is when, if I turn on a side view, it might be easy. You're not slouched in a chair. That means we flex the spine. So obviously that's not neutral. But you don't want to be sort of like arching too much back. So neutral is somewhere in between the 2. It's basically when the facet joints are idling. So they're not open or closed. They're somewhere in between the 2. So if you just think about sitting up tall, shoulders back, and the head lifted, and then that will give you as close as you can to that neutral spine. Okay, so I'm also not sitting back in the chair, I'm slightly forward, so my feet are firmly planted on the floor. You can't see my feet, but they are firmly planted on the floor then. And we're just going to start up with a little bit of a pulse raiser. So I want you to just sort of like just pick up one foot just a little bit at a time, and then you can add the arms in. Okay, so as you progress, you might want to do this in a standing position, and you might want to get the knees a little bit higher, or you might go a little bit faster. So you're just going to choose a level that you're more comfortable with, and keep checking in with your breath and your posture. Okay, so we're just going to do this a little bit. As I say, you might want to just do the arms and not the legs. It's completely up to you. So we're just going to do this for a couple of minutes. All right. Just keep checking that you don't start to slouch and sink into your chair there. So just keep sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so I'll just do some with the arms as well. There's a little rotation, a little spinal rotation when you use your arms as well, which is what we'll be getting into next. Okay, so I'm not very good with timings, but let's just say, that's a minute. It might be a little bit more, a little bit less. So just a little bit more of that. And I say it depends on what level you're at really. You might want to do this standing. But for today's purpose, I'm just going to stay seated in my chair for most of this, not all of the session. Okay, so let's just bring that to a stop. So I'm going to keep my feet planted, and then I'm going to start off with our first exercise. All right, so this is going to be rotating my neck. So it's going to be a little bit of a spinal rotation here. So I want you to just turn your head, but notice my hands. Okay, so my hands are turning, so my neck, but also my spine's going. But I want you to think about trying to keep your chin lined up with your chest. Okay, and we will be doing 10 of these. So if you're moving into anything that causes you pain, any discomfort, then just make the range of movement a little bit smaller. But just feel that natural glide. And again, it's really important that you just kept your neutral spine there. Okay, so that's 3 to go. So I'm trying to keep my hips as still as I can, so I'm just moving the torso and my neck really. All right, good. And there's the 10. Okay, so now we're going to do another exercise called a chin tuck. So I'll turn myself almost to my side. You stay where you are. The only reason I'm turning myself onto the side is because it's a bit of a strange one. So really, I want to just think about, I'm going to put tap my chin here. I want you to just think about taking your head back. So the reason why I've got my fingers here, because I want you to think about, you're pulling your chin back. Okay, so it's like you're gonna feel like you're getting some double chins going on, which is perfect. But what you're doing is you're strengthening the muscles at the back of the neck, so you don't end up with this head slouched down. So the head typically weighs about 5 kilos, which is quite a lot of weight. So we want to keep it up. So we're going to do 10 of these. I've already done 2, so that's 3. 4. You don't have to have your fingers on your chin, but I'm just doing it to kind of show you, emphasize really what I'm doing. It feels really weird, this exercise, but it's a very, very good one to do. 6, 7, so I can feel that all the way at the back of my neck. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so I'll come back to face you. And I'll just do a couple so you can kind of see without holding here. You can't, see what I mean? A little bit of a double chin. But it's a really good exercise to do that. Okay? And then we'll do one more rotation and we'll do this one standing. Okay? So to come up to standing, make sure your feet are planted firmly on the floor. Hold on to your chair, and it's that 1, 2, 3, push yourself up. Okay, so you can either stand where you are here, or you can come back onto the chair. I'm just going to stay where I am. All right, so if I cross here, I'm going to turn my trunk. So I don't want you to turn the legs or the hips. Try and keep the hips still and just turn everything from the torso up. Okay, so it's similar to the first one we did, but I want you to think more about turning the whole torso. So I always feel like my top half is the lid of a jam jar, and the bottom half, the red part of me, is the actual jar. So I'm just moving the lid part. Okay, my feet are still nice and firmly planted on the floor here. You've got your good posture because we set that up to begin with. So keep coming back to your posture checks. So again, we want to go for about 10. Okay, so if you don't want to get to 10, just get as close as you can, but the aim is to do 10. Okay, and I'm just going to do one more. So we lose rotations as we age, so it's important that you always include a rotation in. Okay, and then feel for your chair and come back down. Okay, so moving on, the next one we will do will be moving into the strength elements. So I'm going to put my ankle weights on. Don't worry if you don't have any. Okay, so to put your ankle weights on, it's always easier to do it from a seated position. So I'm just going to slide forward in my chair, hinge at the hip, and slide these weights on. So I'm going to put one on each foot. Okay, so I'll do the other one in a side position so you can kind of see a little bit better. So notice that instead of slouching, I'm hinging. I'm trying to keep my back as straight as possible to pick the weights up. So again, another hinge. So they're not heavy, the weights are not heavy, it's just something, it's just a little bit of extra weight there. Alright, so the first one we'll be doing, excuse me, is a front knee strengthening exercise. So basically your quads, so these are your quadriceps, you've got 4 muscles at the front of the thigh. So I want you to just simply straighten your leg. Straighten it and then bend it. Okay? Straighten it, squeeze in into the muscles at the front of the thigh and release. Okay, now there's lots of ways that, excuse me, people cheat when they do this. I've got a bit of a cold, so that's why I'm a bit coffee. So what I want you to just check that is you're not cheating with this exercise. So again, you stay where you are. I'm just going to turn on a side view so you can see how I could potentially cheat this. I could lean back in my chair. Okay, I don't want you to lean back. I want you to stay with that posture. I want you to keep yourself upright and literally just straighten out the leg. You could even potentially pull the toes towards you, but don't worry so much about the toes. Just think about getting that leg straight. Squeezing into the thigh muscles. I'm going to do one more, that's 10, and then we'll switch over to the other side. Okay, so the other side. So again, I'm going to stay on the side. You're staying normal on your chair at this point. Another way people could potentially cheat this is that they go too fast and they end up just swinging the leg. Don't do that. All right, so just come up nice and slow up and nice and slow down. So you're kind of like resisting gravity coming down. And just keep checking that you're upright, your core's engaged, your shoulders are back. And the goal is to really try and straighten that leg properly. So your quadriceps help keep the knees nice and strong. So it's an important exercise to do to work the quads. All right, I think that's 10. I'm not very good at counting, but anyway, it's 10. Right, I get sidetracked. All right, so I'm going to swing back round. So I'm keeping my ankle weights on, and I'm going to come up out the chair. So like we did earlier, you're just going to shuffle yourself forward. Just shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Hold onto your chair, and we're going to come up. All right, so I want you to walk around to the back of your chair. It's going to feel strange because you've got weights on. So you've got options here. If you feel very, very unsteady, just hold onto the back of your chair, stand completely behind the back of your chair. If you feel that you want to progress it, just stand side onto your chair. And if you want to progress it again, don't hold your chair at all. Okay, so you've got 3 ways how you can make that work for you. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to stand side on, holding the chair. And we're going to take the leg out to the side. So this is a standing hip abduction. So again, I'll show you properly, and then I'm going to show you what I don't want you to do, if that makes sense. All right, I don't want to confuse you. So I literally want to keep your hips facing the front, and you're going to take the leg out to the side. That's what I want you to do. So you're transferring the weight into one leg, and you're taking the leg out. What I don't want you to do is kind of swing to the side, taking that leg out. I also don't want you to kick your leg forward with the toes going forward. You're thinking about the whole side of your leg and the ankle bone. Just take it away. Okay, and if you feel that that's okay, then you can just keep the chair handy. Don't hold it with both hands if you're standing side on though. Okay, if you're going to hold it with both hands, then I do want you to be directly behind the chair. I'm going to come back out here. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're just working the glutes, especially that glute medialis muscle, okay, so on the side. So I think, again, I'm rubbish at counting, I get a little bit sidetracked, but I think that was 10. Okay, so I'm just going to come over here, standing on the side, but again, you can stand where you feel more comfortable standing. And I'm just taking it out to the side. So you can't really see my foot there, but I want my toes to stay facing the front. I don't want my toes to angle off out to the side. I want my knee to face the front. I don't want my knee to face the ceiling. This would be wrong. So keep the leg facing the front. Think about the whole side of the leg as leading the way. Okay, I think I've got 4 left. I think. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, perfect. So that's that exercise. So now we can do another one. So for the purpose of the video, I'm going to turn my chair around. You're going to just stay at the back of your chair. Okay, so I'm going to turn my chair here, just purely for the video. So now I'm going to do a back leg strengthening exercise. So these will be your hamstrings. So we're going to bend the leg. Okay, and then take it down again. So just like the front leg strengthening, don't go kicking and dropping, okay? And I want you to think about your posture. So you're going to go slowly up, slowly down. So just think about bringing your heel up to your bottom. So this is not only strengthening through your hamstrings, but you are also standing on one leg here. So this has got a little bit of the balance component in there, a little bit of the balance. So you can hold the chair, 2 hands, 1 hand. If you're feeling really, really brave, no hands. Okay, I think that might have been 10. Okay, you're going for 10. All right, so we're going to go to the other side. So again, it's that little posture check, making sure that you feel like you've got like a corset around you. It just stops you sort of like going into it with this slouched position. So stand up nice and tall, heel up to the bottom. Trying to keep the eyes up all the time. I just did it myself, that's why I'm saying this. It's looking down at my feet, try not to look at my feet. 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Okay, so that's all we're going to do today with the weights. So I'll bring my chair back round. I'm going to come round. I'm going to take the weights off. So weird walking in the weights. So again, it's that hinge. Let's get rid of them. And then we'll move on to some balance work. Okay, so for the balance work, shuffle forward in your chair, feet firmly planted, up you come. Okay, so I'm going to come round. I'm coming back round onto behind my chair. So just for the video, I'm turning it, but you're not going to move. You're not going to start picking your furniture up. Okay, please don't do that. All right. So what I want you to start doing first is we'll do some calf raises. So hold on to your chair and just up you come. So we're just doing this just a few times. Now this could still be classed as a little bit of strength as well, but I just want you to get used to moving on into the balance element. All right, so I'm just going to do a few of these. So really we're going to be just doing standing on one leg practices. So we'll aim to go for 30 seconds, but you can start off with 10, build it up, but the goal will be 30 seconds standing on one leg. Okay, so what I want you to do, hold on to the chair, transfer the weight into one leg, pick up one foot and just stand. So your posture is really important here. The supporting leg, try not to bend it too much. You can have a soft bend to the leg. And then if you really want to challenge it, it's always best to focus on something on the floor first, or focus on a specific point in the room. And then you can try taking your hands away. Okay, so this is a great exercise to do, because even myself, I'm finding my legs kind of, I can feel my whole calf like doing this. So what it's doing is it's constantly challenging all the muscles in my lower leg there to find that balance point. It's sending those messages up to my brain. If you feel, obviously you're gonna fall, make sure you keep your hands close to the chair, so you could keep the hands just kind of hovering away from the chair. All right, and then I think that was 30. It felt like 30. My calf is telling me that was at least 30. And then we'll do the other side. So again, hold the chair or not, or just keep it ready. So take one foot off, feel that stability, that support. You might want to think about spreading the toes out, or think of like your feet like a tripod. Think about your big toe like a tripod. So you can definitely feel your big toe, the heel and the ball of your foot. And then if you feel okay, then the hands come away. And it's not a problem if you do feel that wobble. It's good, it's a good thing, but if it feels too unsteady, too unstable, please hold on to that chair. Okay, so we're going for that 30 seconds. And then I'll just do one more exercise with you for today. Again, it's another balance one. So I'm gonna put one foot in front of the other. So you cannot see it on here, but literally it's like, think of a tightrope. I'm gonna put one foot in front of the other. Now, if you have just recently had a hip replacement, you're not going to be wanting to cross the leg over the midline of your body. So if you have just had a hip replacement, or you have any issues with the hips that causes any discomfort crossing that leg over the midline of the body, you will not be doing this one. Okay, you will just have your feet together. So instead of like hip width apart, like normal, have them together. So what we're looking for is we're looking to challenge that base of support. We're trying to sort of narrow that base of support. So again, if you've had a hip surgery, hip replacement, then just have the feet narrow. If you haven't, and it is okay for you to cross that foot, then you're going to put one foot in front of the other. You can hold the chair or not. Okay, so even again, myself, I can feel that that is definitely challenging. So again, we're going to build up to that 30. She did it again. Did you see that? I'm looking at my feet. Try not to look at your feet. All right, so this is where it is challenging. There you go. Really feel that. So again, it's sending that message up to your brain. I can feel my legs kind of like wobbling around, looking for that center point, looking for that balance point. So these are great exercises to do. So you want to be aiming, again, to do this little video 3 times a week. I'm going to switch it over. Obviously don't cross. If you've had a hip issue, just narrow the support. So yeah, 3 times a week. 3 times a week's the goal. If you haven't got ankle weights, start off without and then progress to the ankle weights. Always make sure that your chair is a fully high back supported chair, not an armchair. And all these exercises you can so easily do just around the house. For example, let's just say that was 30 seconds. It feels like 30 seconds, okay? So just for example, while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, cleaning your teeth, anything that's got like a nice height for you to just sort of hold on. You can do your calf raises. You can stand on one foot while you're cleaning your teeth. You could even do some like little knee bends. I don't know if you heard that. That was my ankle cracking. But yeah, you can just do some little knee bends. But all these exercises, they seem so simple. You know, especially to anyone younger, they think, what are you doing? But these are vital, and they've been proven. They've been clinically proven and researched thoroughly, extensively, that these are going to help you as we age to prevent those falls. So I want you to just think about these exercises any time that you can. Just chuck them into your daily life, daily schedules. They're all going to help you keep yourself nice and mobile. Okay, any of these exercises, even just standing tall and just like straightening your legs, okay, like the one we were doing when we were seated. You want to straighten the legs, you could bend the legs, you could just do some little ankle rotations. I'm digressing a little bit off the plan, but I want you to understand that you can throw these in to everyday life and they are really, really going to help you. So 3 times a week, have fun with it. Make sure you do them, they're important. Bye guys.